I am your host, Christine Marie. Y'all, I am so privileged to have you here today. We are going to be reading through A Course in Miracles, lesson 140. And every day on the show, we go live every day at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. And the intent and the purpose of this show is freedom, because on the other side of being free from the horizontal fixation of looking to everyone to the right and to the left to tell us who we are, to give us our worth, our meaning, our identity, the more free we are from that, the more creation is actually the natural overflow, the more we're actually free to be able to understand, well, who am I and who was I created to be, and what is my worth and what is my identity and why am I here, and asking those questions where we're free to go inward, explore, come to know who we are, and then the natural overflow of that knowledge is creation. I liken this concept of knowing, true knowledge, true knowing of ourselves, akin to this actually biblical narrative. There's a man who is tilling the land. He's in the fields when he stumbles across hidden treasure, and he's digging it up, and he finds that, oh my gosh, there's this amazing amount of treasure here. And so he goes and he sells everything he has to go and buy the land. And that is like when we truly know who we are, we cannot help but take action accordingly. We cannot help but experience change in our lives. We cannot help but have that knowledge of our values translate into the way that we show up. This true knowing is not real and activated until there is results. And so this is when we talk about the knowing show, that's effectively what we're doing, is we're going in to explore for the purpose of change. We're going into really get a grasp on the kind of the full picture of who we were created to be in the first place. And we've been reading A Course in Miracles ever since January 1st. They have a lesson for every single day. And we are reading through lesson 140. But I'm going to give a quick preamble, so to say, of some of the preceding lessons leading up to today's. Lesson 125, in quiet I receive God's word today. Lesson 126, all that I give is given to myself. Lesson 127, there is no love but God's. Lesson 128, the world I see holds nothing that I want. Lesson 129, beyond this world, there is a world I want. Lesson 130, it is impossible to see two worlds. Lesson 131, no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Lesson 132, I loose the world from all I thought it was. Lesson 133, I will not value what is valueless. Lesson 134, let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Lesson 135, if I defend myself, I am attacked. Lesson 136, sickness is a defense against the truth. Lesson 137, when I am healed, I am not healed alone. Lesson 138, heaven is the decision I must make. Lesson 139, I will accept atonement for myself. Lesson 140, today's lesson. Only salvation can be said to cure. Cure is a word that cannot be applied to any remedy the world accepts as beneficial. When the world perceives as therapeutic, or what the world perceives as therapeutic is but what will make the body better. When it tries to heal the mind, it sees no separation from the body where it thinks the mind exists. It forms all healing, thus must substitute illusion for illusion. One belief in sickness takes another form, and so the patient now perceives himself as well. He is not healed. He merely had a dream that he was sick, and in the dream he found a magic formula to make him well. Yet he has not awakened from the dream, so his mind remains exactly as it was before. He has not seen the light that would awaken him and end the dream. What difference does the content of a dream make in reality? One either sleeps or wakens. There is nothing in between. The happy dreams the spirit brings are different from the dreaming of the world, and where one can merely dream he is awake. The dreams forgiveness lets the mind perceive do not induce another form of sleep, so that the dreamer dreams another dream. His happy dreams are heralds of the dawns of truth upon the mind. They lead from sleep to gentle waking so that dreams are gone, and thus they cure for all eternity. Atonement heals with certainty and cures all sickness. For the mind which understands that sickness can be nothing but a dream is not deceived by forms of the dream they take. Sickness where guilt is absent cannot come, for it is but another form of guilt. Atonement does not heal the sick, for that is not a cure. It takes away the guilt to make the sickness possible, and that is cure indeed. For sickness is now gone with nothing left to which it can return. Peace be to you who have been cured in God and not in idle dreams. For cure must come from holiness, and holiness cannot be found where sin is cherished. God abides in holy temples. He is barred where sin has entered, yet there is no place where he is not, and therefore sin can have no home in which to hide from his benefits. There is no place where holiness is not, and nowhere sin and sickness can abide. This is the thought that cures. It does not make distinctions among unrealities, nor does it seek to heal what is not sick, unmindful where the need for healing is. There is no magic. It is merely an appeal to truth, which cannot fail to heal and heal forever. It is not a thought that judges an illusion by its size, its seeming gravity, or anything that is related to the form it takes. It merely focuses on what it is and knows that no illusion can be real. Let us not try today to seek to cure what cannot suffer sickness. Healing must be sought but where it is, and then applied to what is sick so that it can be cured. There is no remedy the world provides that can affect a change in anything. The mind that brings illusions to the truth is really changed. There is no change but this. And how can one illusion differ from another but in attributes that have no substance, no reality, no core, and nothing that is truly different? Today we seek to change our minds about the source of sickness, for we seek a cure for all illusions, not another shift among them. We will try today to find the source of healing, which is in our minds because our Father placed it there. It is not farther from us than ourselves. It is as near to us as our own thoughts, so close it is impossible to lose. We need but seek it, and it must be found. We will not be misled today by what appears to us as sick. We go beyond appearances today and reach the source of healing from which nothing is exempt. We will succeed to the extent to which we realize that there can never be a meaningful distinction between what is untrue and equally untrue. Here there are no degrees and no beliefs that what does not exist is truer in some forms than others. All of them are false and can be cured because they are not true. So do we lay aside our amulets, our charms and our medicines, our chants and bits of magic in whatever form they take. We will be still and listen for the truth of healing, which will cure all ills as one, restoring sameness to the Son of God. No voice but this one can cure. Today we hear a single voice which speaks to us of truth, where all illusions end, and peace returns to the eternal quiet home of God. We waken hearing him. Let him speak to us for 5 minutes as the day begins, and end the day by listening again 5 minutes more before we go to sleep. Our only preparation is to let our interfering thoughts be laid aside, not separately, but all of them as one. They are the same. We have no need to make them different, and thus delay the time we can hear our Father speak to us. We hear him now. We come to him today. With nothing in our hands to which we cling, with lifted hands and listening minds we pray. Only salvation can be said to cure. Speak to us, Father, that we may be healed. And we will feel salvation cover us with soft protection and with peace so deep that no illusion can disturb our minds, nor offer proof to us that it is real. This we learn today. And we will say our prayer for healing hourly and take a minute as the hour strikes to hear the answer to our prayer to be given to as we attend in silence and enjoy. This is the day when healing comes to us. This is the day when separation ends and we remember who we really are. This is so beautiful. It's such a I don't know, it was like such a peaceful Such a peaceful read. As I'm reading this and just thinking about it now, I think that it really begs a question. We're on day 140, and a question that I think all of us needs to ask is, do I believe it's real? Do I believe peace is accessible? Do I believe that I could, if I chose and if I was willing, could I choose peace? Is it possible to exist in this place that says, peace be to you who have been cured in God and not idle dreams. For cure comes from holiness, and holiness cannot be found where sin is cherished. God abides in holy temples. He is barred where sin has entered. Yet there is no place where he is not, and therefore sin can have no home in which to hide from his benefits. So effectively, there's a belief system that is fundamental for us to consider in order for this type of moving towards taking action and moving towards the allowance for the presence of God, the allowance for peace. It's predicated on, what do you believe? We talked at the very beginning of the show how real knowledge produces change, real knowledge produces action. If we were to really know that which is precious and true and meaningful and our worth, it would inevitably impact the actions we take. It would inevitably impact our lives. And so if we're not existing in peace, do we actually believe it's possible? If we're not existing in this, if we're not existing in a place or in our lives the way that we want to, do we actually believe that we can? And I think that that's really, really powerful, because ultimately there between stimulus and response is choice. Viktor Frankl said that. So there's a stimulus all the time. There's stimulus, whether it's a book or a podcast or someone saying something to you or an email. We are constantly stimulated. And after that, but before we respond, there is a choice every single time. But that choice, the power of that choice, is ultimately a reflection of the belief system in which it's rooted. So what is the belief system that is guiding all of your responses? And if we are living with anxiety, depression, guilt, fear, that reveals a belief system that is ours and that we have chosen. And so this concept of forgiveness, this concept of atonement, of salvation, all of those concepts, if our life doesn't reflect it, I think it could very well be a dissonance between the belief system about it. And do we even want it in the first place? I know a lot of folks who say that they want to live on a farm and till the land and, have a homestead, but do they actually have the internal state to be able to go and exist in that degree of peace? Because otherwise it's going to feel real boring. It's going to be a respite, a haven, or it's going to be a place of torture and a prison cell. So our future, our dreams, that which we're longing for, do we actually even have the inner capacity to handle that? And ultimately, if we're waiting for our future dreams to be accomplished in order to get to that place of peace, I think that's the first step, is to rewire that narrative around, if I cannot even experience peace right here, right now, there's no way I can experience it in the future. So our first responsibility is to look in the mirror right here, right now, today, and say, am I actually living according to who I say I want to be? Am I actually living according to the narratives and beliefs that I would want to yield a harvest down in the future, down the line? When I was 30, when I turned 30, I wrote my eulogy, and I wrote it as in depth as I possibly could, really imagining that I am dead. I do, in the future. And everyone is saying the impact I had on life, on the world, on people, on children, on my family, etc. And so as I did that, what it proved to me was, well, man, I'm not living my life today according to get to that point, to have those things said about me. And it was a mirror. It was a mirror for me of, this is a dream, this is my ideal, versus this is my present reality. Where is there the gap? Where's there the dissonance? And what needs to change today in order to achieve that tomorrow? And as we do this work of looking in the mirror and saying, man, I am showing up every day constantly anxious. man, I'm showing up every day just complaining, or I'm feeling angry or vengeful and I cannot get this anger out of me. Just yesterday, a dear friend of mine had a counseling appointment, and they just kind of mused to me. They were like, what should I talk about in counseling? And I was like, what if you talked about your relationship with your mom? And they were like, no, thank you. And he ended up having that conversation in counseling. And this relationship with his mom has brought so much pain, so much frustration. She really did some horrible things. And it's been easier to suppress it than to square it off with it in the mirror. However, after therapy, he comes to me and he's like, I have to tell you about this. This was so incredibly powerful. So many things are making sense about why I'm acting the way that I am. And in that understanding, in that knowledge lies freedom. Because now I'm free from the past in a way. He's not completely done, but man, so much of today is making sense because of yesterday. And we understand the through line. What we cultivate right now in the present moment affects our future. And what we cultivated back in the past is affecting our future or our present today. So it goes both ways. We can look back and be like, oh yeah, I can see why I'm doing what I'm doing right now in the present because of the past. But then it's the same thing. What I'm doing today in the present is going to impact my future. So that's why it's so incredibly difficult to see real change, which is why we need to impact and analyze our current belief system, because we can't change the choice apart from changing the belief. And the belief is ultimately the thing driving driving our actions. And, there's other folks who are talking about, well, I really want to live with an abundance mindset. And, I never really understood what they were talking about until I experienced, I was really going through it over the last, well, I guess it was more so last year, but I was not experiencing, I guess, the influx of, I didn't feel financially stable. I'll just say that. I lost one of my really big clients, and there was just a lot fluctuating on the business side, and I just was not feeling comfortable. But I had fundamentally a mindset that was not allowing me to go and get new clients, because I was viewing by me taking money for my services, which changes their business, has a massive impact. I felt guilty for it. I felt guilty for the exchange of money. And that revealed so many things to me. So every single mindset that we hold has a genesis to it. So we're talking about change cannot be affected without choice. And choice cannot be made apart from belief, addressing our belief systems. But our belief systems cannot be changed unless we've done the work to understand why they're there in the first place. So we actually have to go back to, what was that initial moment, that Genesis story that yielded that belief that then yields the action that I want to see changed? So we can look at it from two different angles. We can look at it and say, what are the behaviors in my life that I want to change? And then, okay, it stems from this belief system. What does this belief system come from? And then go about it that way. Or we can actually consider, what were the moments in my past that were really tricky, hard, devastating, that made me feel a certain way? Because they surely have manifestations in the present moment of actions or behaviors. And then we kind of bridge the gap. So you can look at it from either way. If we want to see real change in our life, what is the behavior that we want to see changed? Or what is the Genesis story? What are the moments in my past that were really painful for me that I have yet to work through? And am I willing to go back to, yesterday we had a conversation on the Knowing Show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern with a gentleman named Adrian Leffler. And he's an entrepreneur as well. He works with dentists actually across the nation. And one of the things that we were talking about last night is how much, he actually experiences a lot with his wife. All the kids moved out. And I so appreciated how honest he was. I've rarely met men or women who will be so honest about the reality of how hard it can be. And he was being honest about the reality of empty nesting. And one of the things that he said is that they both had to go back and understand, why am I feeling this emotion? Well, it's rooted in something in the past. And understanding the through line of the past experiences all the way impacting not just today, but the way that we look at the future is probably one of the best ways that will allow for us to have freedom. Because now we get to choose with intention. Well, who do I want to be in the future? And how do I need to change today in order to get there? I'm just going to jump here in the chat. Steve, I'm so glad to see you. Good morning, sunshine. HB, good morning. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Hatorius, good morning. I'm glad you're here. American Redneck, I'm so happy you're here. Steve, life's a miracle. Oh, I just love that you said that. Yes. Salam, good morning. Thanks for joining. Sydney, good morning. DJ, doing trivia this evening. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Hold on, I'm so glad you said that. I feel like I've just been playing catch up all week since I went to LA last week. So I'm planning on it. I don't think I have anything that would prevent it. Yes, trivia 6 p.m. tonight. 6 p.m. Eastern. Yay. I'm excited. I need to actually put that on our schedule. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, trivia is tonight. I'm so glad you said that. Y'all, for those of you who are new, every morning at, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, we'll go live and we'll go through a lesson in Course in Miracles. And then on the evening weekdays, for the most part, I'll either go live solo, we'll have a guest, or on Wednesdays, we'll do trivia night. And we started doing this back in, I think, February, and it's just been so much fun. So I've loved it. So yes, we're going to do trivia tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. Retro Rocket, good morning. I'm glad to see you. Oh my gosh. Retro Rocket just brought up Joseph the Dreamer, the Disney movie. I don't know why. I think that they're doing it on Broadway. But I heard there can be no, wait, that's Prince of Egypt. Oh man, I haven't seen the Joseph movie in a long, long time. Have you seen the Prince of Egypt movie? That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yes, that's so good. Ansley, good morning. Good to see you. Armand, good morning. Luciana, good morning. Charlie, hello. I'm glad to see you. How have you been? I feel like, honestly, as I was reading, I started feeling super cloudy. I was like, I think I'm getting sick. So hopefully that will not be the case. But I've been doing really well, but over the last 24 hours, I've been not great. Henry, good morning. Charlie, good morning. Thank you for joining. Rob Vine, I'm glad to see you. Ligma, good morning. Actually, it's not a robe. It's like a little cardigan. Thank you. I love it. Steve says, beliefs do not equal truth. I don't think I said that, but I think that that's a really, really good point. Just because we believe something does not make it true. And to your point, that is partially why we have to go back to analyze what our beliefs are, because a lot of time our beliefs are predicated in the past when we were 8 to 10, and our environment is no longer, and that's not the only age range. I was using that as an example. Our environment is no longer that. And so how many of our beliefs are so outdated? We have old programming, we have old ways of looking at the world that was based in these, honestly, experiences that formed beliefs that are no longer relevant, nor hold the grip and power over us. It's interesting. The more I'm interacting with folks, I host knowing retreats where it's very, very intimate setting for multiple days. And it's executives, entrepreneurs, we gather together and we do the work. And in that process, I just see how, it's these bigger than life, sometimes men and women. But then as you get closer and closer down to what really happened that shapes the way you view the world, it's like they get reduced to little kids. And there's pain there that has just never been acknowledged, never been voiced. And yet it has been in the driver's seat in so many ways. They've lived defensive. They've lived on guard, suspicious of people. That's actually something that I'm still tempted to do. I don't know if we ever completely undo it from the past, but I actually think maybe we can. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Beliefs do not equal truth. I think some you can have a belief in the capital T truth that maybe has like more so superordinate principles based on something that we're not talking about right now. um, Ansley, Philippians 4:6. DJ says peace. Peace for me can be chaos, and for you, the complete opposite. It's so interesting. It just depends on what the definition of peace is. Back to definitions always. Fred, good morning. Steve, I love this. Ask yourself, will your convictions stand beside death? Right when I first read that, I initially thought of, on your deathbed, how will those beliefs hold up? And the way that we've lived our life, I was actually chatting just yesterday. I was talking to a vendor, and they told me that my darling actually gave them this advice, which I thought was just so brilliant. They were trying to decide where to move. And my darling told them, imagine at the end of your life, you're looking back and effectively the two different decisions you could have made, where you're going to live and the way that your life's going to unfold as a result of living in either place. Which do you want? And I was like, wow, that's holding it to such an incredibly high standard of, I really play this out. If I was to go and live in this place, what are the likely events that will unfold as a result of that? And where will I be at the end of my life given that I make this change? And so I thought that was so interesting. So honestly, when I first read your comment, that's initially what I thought. Like, are our convictions, are our belief systems able to withstand all the way through till the end of our lives? Five Monkey, good morning. Good to see you. Philip, good morning. Roar. I heard somebody say that the other day. That's so funny. Fred says, if you look in the mirror and don't like what you see, look into eyes. That's the only mirrors you'll ever need. Lemon, good morning. Josh Gee, good morning. A lot of men on the internet need self-esteem and self-respect. James, good morning. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you did. The Fact Hub, good morning. Just scrolling down. Joseph, good morning. Exec, good morning. Good to see you. Unresolved emotional conflict unravels in silence. Ooh, that's a good line. Wow. Isn't that just so true? Wow. Kion, good morning. Thanks for joining. Yours truly, Todd, good morning. Joseph Clift, hello from London. Yay. I love this. Steve says, when you smile, the whole world smiles with you. I know. Charlie says, long time no see. I know. What have you been up to? I want to know. I'm so glad we had rain and it cleared up most of the pollen here in Texas. Oh my gosh. I went to Texas a month ago to visit my brother, and the allergies were horrifying. I'm assuming, I guess I'm assuming it's everywhere in Texas, but I was in San Antonio and it was so bad. Flyers, good morning. Lawman, good morning. Wibbly wobbly, good morning. I'm going fishing today to restock my freezer. Oh, how fun. Booger Man, good morning. Good to see you. I like your handle. Lewis, good morning. Andrew, hello. All right, y'all. I need to go. We are going to be not walking. We're definitely not going to be walking. I don't know where that came from. We're going to be on again today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, Hopefully I will be. I don't know. I feel like I'm like really starting to get sick. So we'll see how I do. But I'm so excited to do trivia with you all later today. And then we'll be back on again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for joining.